flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silent prayer for not only this council, but our nation. Amen. All right, this evening is, we're at Tuesday, July 13th, it's 5:30 evening in the Municipal Center. Could I have the roll call, please?
Yes, Scott Markey,
Here.
Rick Weber. Here. Greg Forney.
Here.
Rose Jackson.
Here.
Elizabeth Skinner.
Here.
Chris Chapman.
Here.
And Susan Webster is here.
We have one. Want to welcome our newest addition. This is Mr. Greg Forney. He won the election, so he is the newest council person. So welcome, Greg.
Thank you.
Look for big things to happen this next 2 years, and
Yes.
so you're a part of that.
I look forward to
So
learning and helping.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to do.
welcome aboard. I don't know if any council members want to say anything to him before we move farther or not. But,
It's welcome.
so, okay. All right, can we have a review of the minutes for the meeting of June 15th, 2021? And I'll entertain a common consent. Any additions or corrections that we can add if they need be. It looked okay to me, but make sure everything's good. We're good. Common consent. Okay.
Now, there we did have also the Board of
Okay.
Canvas, and you notice, we didn't do it the last meeting, the 15th.
Right.
I didn't have it prepared, so I'm presenting this. This is the Board of Canvas for the election of June the 8th. And what this is the final say of the final count. We did have another ballot that was opened on that day. We did accept it, so the numbers did change slightly. If you want me to read them off, I can. But this is something that has to be approved or accepted by common consent like any other minutes.
Okay.
I sent these out earlier.
Okay, you guys got it then, okay. Look at it, if everything looks good to you, we can do a common consent on it. Everything
That's
okay with
fine.
Yeah,
everybody?
it's the same reflection that was on
Yeah,
the agenda from the last meeting.
Yes.
Right.
okay, all right, that business taken care of. We do have this evening, we tabled approval or signature on 713U agreement. I have looked this agreement over and I'm a little concerned because the agreement has us showing that there's a financial burden to the town of Bath. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Nobody has seemed to be able to answer that. I put a couple calls into people and I was on vacation and I did not get any calls back. So I would think that unless somebody wants to do something with this, I would,
Well, I would say let's not table it, because if we table it, we have to bring it up
Right.
at the next meeting. So let's just set this aside until we have more information or this group comes before us to explain more about what this agreement
right,
is,
and
because we don't really understand it.
what our financial aspects of the whole thing is, because I don't want to put us on the hook for something that I don't know what our financial responsibility. It says there will be money paid out, but how much money? Give me a figure. So let's do
Well,
that.
if it's something that we haven't done, I mean, how can they just expect us to blindly
Yeah. Yeah, I
jump into this?
Some governments do that.
so yeah, let's
Do we want to contact them and say, can you come before us and explain this in
They were
more detail?
expecting some of us to go to a meeting of the county
Right.
commissioners because they didn't want to come and do it.
Well, I don't
twice.
think that that's right. If they're asking us to be put on the hook for money, they need to come to us. We're not a county agency.
I
This
agree.
is the town of Bath. I understand what they were trying to do, but they need to come before us as a council and mayor and explain exactly like it is. I mean, I understand what they were trying to do, but I don't think it's right to push us into a meeting with the county commissioners when there's so much going on And then us have to try to figure out exactly what they were trying to explain to us. So until they come before us, I mean, I don't feel comfortable with that agreement.
Right, my question was, you know, should we contact them to say, we didn't think this was appropriate for us to discuss this as the town staff in, you know, within the context of the town meeting, would you like to address us as
We
the
could
town
do
council
that.
that?
If everybody, you know, would want them to come before us, I mean, we could send them a letter.
Well, I think Lynn would like to do that because he did offer to come. He said that he was going to present it to the Morgan County Commissioners if you were available to do that, or if you wanted to come and then come and do it individually, he would do that also. And at the time, we said, well, you know, we can also see the Morgan County Commissioners online. You can watch their videos also, so we can watch it on there.
Right, but we still have some questions.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was during COVID. It was earlier in the year, and that's what is the concern.
So, yeah, we'll do that then.
I want to ask
So,
them to come before us and explain the agreement.
yeah, we'll call him and see if he would be
This
willing
is
to come in.
financial part.
Right, even if he would come, if he didn't want to come before council, maybe do it at, maybe our finance meeting real quick, just to explain to everybody finance, I mean, I don't have a problem with
That'd
that.
be what, the 27th?
Yeah, that would be the 20th. Yeah, we're gonna do it on the regular meeting, the regular meeting is the 27th, but we're gonna do it on our regular, 20th. It would be our regular,
Third Tuesday of the month.
No, I thought we were doing everything on the 27th, finance and all that stuff.
We can.
Yeah.
we can, that's
Makes
not a
the most
problem.
sense.
That's not a problem. I don't have a problem with that at all, so, okay. Let's do that on the 27th then.
Want to get them on the.
If they want to come, if they want to
Okay,
come
Gotcha.
either on the agenda to the town meeting, or they can come to our finance meeting and explain to it, you know. It might be just as well, even either way, so. So we'll have, town.
This is something, this 7-1-3U has nothing to do with that dam maintenance that we do
No,
every year.
no.
something-
This is separate.
So,
Yeah,
Have we ever done anything with this?
No.
No.
No, this is the first. So, and like I said, I really don't understand the whole thing, so let's see
Didn't
if,
think we have.
see if they can come forward and go with that, so. Of course, I welcomed our new council member, so we're getting up, he's getting up to speed on things. You know, our upcoming council date, the next one's gonna be the 27th instead of the 20th. Because we pushed things up, and we'll also do, of course, we just agreed to do our finance meeting on the morning of the 27th. Also, we have a letter that was sent to us from Trump and Trump to us about possible conflict of interest with their handling a case for us, and they're also handling a water department issues for our water line replacement. I have talked to our attorney, Mr. Gay, rather lengthily on this. He checked also with our insurance company on the other aspect of everything, and he told me that everybody is on board with us signing this letter to give back to Trump and Trump. They just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a conflict of interest, because they were doing work for the water department, and then there's some stuff going on for the town side. He said everything looks good, and I just need to get somebody to make a motion to give me the authority to go ahead and sign that and send it back to Trump and Trump.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So, that's not actually the one, I don't know if people read that or not, but there's another one in there, isn't there? This isn't the letter, is it? Is
Yes, it's just the front page.
this- Okay, it's just the front
Everybody
page.
had
Okay.
received the whole.
All right.
I got the original
So
already.
anyway, I've got a motion and second on the floor. Does anybody have any discussion?
I read through the entire letter pretty carefully, and this is, I don't think this
I
is
don't think
anything
it
to be concerned about. It's just in a sense, what lay people would call technicality.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Dick said. He said there's really nothing to be concerned about, but he did some checking just to make sure that there was no problems. He said he would just rather council go ahead and bring it up and vote on it and make sure everybody was on the same page. So, any more discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes, so I will sign that and get it back to Tony Trump. Basically, that's all I have. So let's move on to Bath Development. Their next meeting is going to be on the 4th of August at 4:30.
They're actually having a meeting tomorrow,
Yeah,
I don't know if we call it an informal meeting, but they are formally meeting tomorrow to do some work on an event that they're going to be sponsoring over Labor Day weekend, a Jeep parade. So the members of the BDA that are interested in helping with that specific event are going to meet in order to do work on that. BDA normally does not meet in July, but in order to be prepared for that July weekend event, they are having that formal meeting tomorrow.
yeah, that's going to be at the courthouse at 4:30. I think it's
Yes.
4:30. Yeah, I think it's 4:30. So, okay, Parks and Recs. I saw there was something in here that she had sent in. So
She didn't have any updates.
Maybe
just,
say she didn't.
you know,
didn't have any updates. So Park and Recs is going to be, their next meeting is the 21st, which is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the courthouse, Commissioners room. So anyway, Planning Commission, which we as the council have been appointed right now. So does anybody have anything for the Planning Commission?
I'd like to know, is there anyone currently sitting on the planning commission, serving that has offices that
Yeah. Yeah, not
slots that haven't expired?
right. There's some that have expired, some that resigned. We need to get a hold of Rebecca, and so that she can sit down and talk with us, and maybe you can be involved in that too, since we were the ones on that, so we can get that back up and running. With COVID last year, we kind of just let things kind of take its own pace, but I think now it's time for the planning commission to get back up and running.
And I think that we have, I think we have people who would be interested in serving.
Yeah.
And running.
Yeah.
And I think people understand the importance of these groups now and would be willing to put some time
Yeah.
into it. Let's hope.
Yeah, well, like I said, let's get with Rebecca because she was the last, the president of the last one. So let's get with her and see if we can go ahead and find out. She's got all the terms and everything, who was on there, whose terms expired, who resigned. And it's time to get it back up and running now because there's some things that are going to need to be, the comprehensive report's going to be updated, and several other things are probably going to need to be done on that. So,
Comprehensive plan that took us through.
Yes.
Right.
yes.
That one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably do some work on that because we're 3 years into that now. So, so let's get a hold of Rebecca, see when she can meet with us and sit down and talk with us about that. Moving on, rails and trails.
Okay. This, love the fact that my update shows everything. That's progress in this. Yeah, we'll hold a meeting a week from Wednesday. Bill has wanted to have a get together in the task force periodically. Really quickly, we should have in hand the draft deed change from CSX. It is the final piece of the puzzle with remediating and checking all the boxes on parcel 3. It's in work, Libby's been working that with them. We have all of the appropriate approvals from DEP, including a certificate of completion. It's this next thing. And of course, very rarely when there was a town fixated on the last step, although we were well ahead of them for
Right.
I checked with Mark Stewart today, the final and formal funding agreement that will come from DOH to the county. Not yet done, but it's close. The issue of labor rates for HDR, who did the actual final drawings, is solved, but it hasn't been put in the paperwork yet. So I would expect within a week or so that the county will be getting the funding agreement. And Joel talked to Gravely about it, and it seemed like county was okay with where the matching share requirement. Sorry, let's just have to be patient. So that's going, I think fairly well. Rebecca has sorted out all the things that need to be done to finish off Marshall Street with some grading and fixing and working on the erosion and such like that. And she's got it all set for the Penny Brothers to do that as part of the original contract. So we don't have to solicit that, and it's within the budget for the EPA, which looks pretty good. So that, your letter got out to Gary Brayley. I haven't pulled the screen to see if they addressed it in the solicitation.
Right.
I will. Because there's things that they're not in charge of something you are.
Right.
Moving on to Streetscape, I have asked JP Burns, the District 5 guy, could you please tell us the number? We think they can see it. I know they would have negotiated it.
Right.
Once they restarted, I'd like to get hold of that. What you have in town is the concrete finishers. We did the best concrete for the whole block. We just solved little problems. You could go find new pavers. They put in how to lay a paver bed on concrete, which looks pretty good actually. So they're working with, they had to redo the concrete one down at Union, DOH. Basically said, that's wrong, fix it. So they're working. So they want to get out of town as fast as we'd like them to be out of town.
Yeah.
And the job that's finished. I talked with the later phase. We got a grant request in for 4B. The drawings aren't done for 4B. The DOH and Thrash have been talking this 2 weeks. Mark says we're probably a week or two away from a restart on the design. That could entail a request for matching money. The new thing. I told him today, didn't think that was fair. For the old grant, where we paid nothing.
Right.
The drawings are done. Why would we want to have to chip in?
Right.
Okay, so we'll see. And then the other thing we're going to see within a week or so is the state park. Remember the state park?
Yeah.
You are the sponsor. You get to sign the funding. You have no money. The money's coming from Park Foundation. They have the money.
Right.
They set a meeting for next Monday. Rebecca and I are going. We put 2 things on the agenda. One, we got to be happy with the funding agreement. There's some issues over on and they've got to sign what we're calling the support agreement between the foundation and the town that makes them responsible for the money
Right.
that you're going to sign for. They don't get to sign the funding agreement because they're not a political entity like we guys are. So Rebecca and I came up with this. We drafted it for them. We've done everything we can to read backwards and put stuff in their hands.
Right.
So we're going to go call upon it on Monday. It's been here. The formal agreement request has been here since June 4th.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
They
remember
weren't
seeing
ready. They weren't ready.
Right.
So we're going to get them ready. And then we can see the rest of it. I think they've got the money, I think the design finished, accepted. That's it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Any questions? All right. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate it.
I'll keep at it.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate all that
I
you
won't
do.
retire here soon.
Okay. Yeah, you got 2 more years.
I got 2, no.
Yeah, you got 2 more
No,
years.
no, no. Although, I have to say, I served at your place. Remember, I've always given you.
I remember that. Thanks,
Sorry.
Pete.
Okay,
Appreciate
take
it, buddy. Okay, moving along. Train Depot, we did get a response back. I know that, what's his name, John, went to the state to find out what the holdup was with the Train Depot. Evidently, it is still in the hands of DOH, and they're still reviewing the whole thing for 2 years now. They've been reviewing it. And he says he has no idea, I guess, when it's going to come out. The review process are open shortly.
Now, I was under the impression that it had gone from the DOH to the feds for the funding.
It's evidently in the DOH up there, and
That's when I said I think we need to get a hold
I-
of Senator Manchin
I-
and see if he can help us out
Right,
with this.
I
If
think-
it's in the Fed hands.
Right, it's not in the feds, it's actually in the DOH department, it looks like to me. So I think what we need to do is we need to get the information together, we never did follow through, get it to Charles and say, Charles, this thing's been held up for 2 years. Every year in what is it, October, November, we have to redo everything because it is a federal funded program, so we gotta jump through all these hoops at the end of November because the agreement's only good for a year. We just did it and signed it last year again, and here we are. DOH is still dragging their feet on it. So I think it's time we get Senator Trump involved in it and have him either fire off a letter or make a phone call and find out why they keep holding this up and not making it happen.
Well, we get emails, I know, occasionally, but we still have the file that I can pull things from to make copies to give to Senator Trump to say, we're no further along than when we
5 years.
brought this to you last time.
Yeah.
And so I'll come in and do
If
that.
you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. You
What
know,
about
it's-
contacting Daryl since he works for the governor and this would be, the governor is the executive officer of the state.
that might be a good idea too.
Have all of them.
Yeah, tab them all. Tab the governor. Let the governor know they're dragging their feet on this thing as far as I'm concerned. This was a grant that was given out 5 years, 6 years ago. 5 years ago, because I went up
6
and
years now.
I went up and accepted the grant from the governor at that time. Yeah, we need to light a fire under somebody's feet. I mean, I understand last year with the corona, I'll give them a year, but so we've been 5 years fighting this, and we're no farther ahead now. That needs to be completed before the end of this year. I mean, we need to have a completion on that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's craziness.
People are getting
So,
really cranky.
yeah,
We're talking
let's
about,
And
you know,
renovating the outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go ahead. If everybody's okay, let's fire off a letter. I mean, go right up the chain, right to the governor himself. Write a letter, give it to Charles. I'll, copy it to our governor.
I was under the impression it left DOH and was at the feds.
I thought it was too. I thought
Okay.
that's what, but
So I didn't write
evidently,
wrong.
because the way they said that he had just been upstairs talking to him about it, and it was still in the review committee. Yeah, I know.
So can I ask just a question? Because that's one of the things that I'm trying to pull together, just to let the people know in town that this has been happening for such a long time. When there was a deadline because it was federally funded,
Yes,
And
every
was it
year, every year in November, there's a deadline. We have to redo all the paperwork that goes into the feds. John has to reassemble all that, and it's got to go back in because it's a
It's like
oh
re-
shoot, what is that? Like a SHPO
shipper,
grant.
yeah,
And so every year that has to be renewed by the
the
SHPO.
paperwork.
Right.
They
Right.
and they missed the deadline
Yeah,
because of
every
maybe
year
COVID.
because the
but
last even
it's
before
been-
COVID, the state has drugged their feet on reviewing this project to put it out to get it to go
to ship
them.
it to the
Right.
feds.
Yeah.
And so there was, the deadline was missed on their part, and
Yep.
you still had to recreate the
Yep.
paperwork.
Yes. And so we're
Every
still-
year because it expires every year. You only have a 1 year on it.
So what
Then
do you do,
gotta
just-
redo
Make copies and ship it off again, or you gotta update it,
Well,
spend time on it?
it. We did last year. John put all the paperwork in and did everything we
Yeah, I
needed.
talked to John.
Because there was a bunch of changes that had to be made
Yes.
that he sent off to them to go ahead and keep it going.
There were some changes through the interior department people that are
Right.
working on it. They've been,
And so we
McLean,
had to make
Call
them
them McLean.
adjustments and get that in so that they okayed it. So it's been okayed now. So now it's in DOH's hands.
until
again.
November, until
Till November.
November.
and then-
I
and
think
then
it's
we're
October,
back to
November,
square
then
one.
we're back to square one. We're gonna start all over.
That's,
Because
So,
that's the
and I think-
federal budget.
I think the proper thing is to go right up the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and send a letter to our Senator
Yeah.
Trump and then just copy it right up to the governor level.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this was awarded to us 5 years, 6 years ago, and we cannot, we have been trying to get it off the ground. We
It's an
understand last year
economic
was,
development project.
absolutely.
It's a
and we
historic
got
project.
trails and trails going on right there, which is gonna
Right.
be complete before the building's even
Right.
complete. So,
thank you. thanks, that just,
So I think let's go right on up to the governor's office.
All right.
You know, and hopefully maybe he'll like
My
somebody.
pleasure.
Yeah,
My
thank you. Okay, Landmarks Commission, of course, right now,
Anything about,
no, I've not.
nothing about, anything?
We've not heard anything other than, we've gotten resignation letters from several people, so once that's all done, then we'll proceed in firing things back up. We'll get it back together again. It's not the first time we've lost the committee, won't be the last time, so anyway. All right, let's go on to clerk and reporters. Madam Clerk, see you got something there.
The thing I have for you is, I need you to approve the budget revision. It's for the coal severance account. It has to be filed with the state by the 15th. We're reducing it by $729 to match the bank account at the end of the year. So I need a,
You need a budget revision for that?
Yes.
Why? Because it's within 10% of the
they,
total.
they need it to match.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need someone to approve that in second, and then I need
Okay,
to know
let's,
who anybody's against it.
Motion.
So moved.
All right. Have a second. We have a motion second on the floor
Who is this one?
to make a budget revision for the coal severance. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. So you need my signature on that to go up there? or do you need
Yeah, I've got
hers?
them. They're all here for you.
Okay, well, let's move on. We don't really have anybody for finances right now, so we'll let Rick take care of it. So, Rick, you got the floor.
Okay. Town of Bath, bills for this period are $44,959.44. The second, and the reason so much was, why was it annual?
All the annual contributions that we budgeted for.
It is all one shot. Okay, we have a motion second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $44,959.44. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, Berkeley Springs Water Works. Total bills in the amount for this period, $20,063.71. We can go ahead and pay those on behalf of the water department. The second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs Water Works bills in the amount of $20,063.71. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Greenway Cemetery, for this period, $6,165 even. I'm going to go ahead and pay those on behalf of the cemetery. The second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the cemetery bills in the amount of $6,165. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, next we have hotel motel fund distribution in the amount of $20,745.76. We're going to go ahead and make those disbursements and move it back. The second.
And a motion and a second on the floor to pay the hotel motel funds in the amount of $20,745.76. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the last one is for the rail trail, for environmental standards, remediation, and the total amount for this period is $581.28. And if we go ahead and pay those bills on behalf of the rail trail. Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the North Berkeley Rail Trail bill in the amount of $581.28. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we got through that. Okay, tree board, we have not appointed anybody yet from council. I would be thinking, if there's anybody on council that would like to serve on the tree board, if you would maybe let that be known to either myself or Susan or Sharon. We can put that in for next meeting. We do have to have a representative on the tree board from town. We moved John Moore over to a member last month before he left council. So anyway, it looks like their next meeting is going to be on the 28th at 2:30, and I haven't heard anything as far as an update from the tree board. So I guess everything's going along okay. So anyway, so be thinking about that. If you would be willing to serve on the tree board as a liaison between us and the tree board, so you can bring back information to us at our meetings, it would greatly appreciate it. Same thing with Grant.
Scott, while we're on trees, where are we with the willers and all that?
It's all taken care of. It's all done. Everything's done. There will be a tree that we need to look at up there that the Willers did make me aware of, so we need to get them to go up and take a look at it. They said it doesn't need to come down right now, but it would be something that we want to look at quickly in the near future. So that needs to be relayed to the tree board. So other than that whole situation's done, finished, out of here. So anyway, we took care of that, 2 months ago, I guess, about 2 months ago. So, Grant, same thing. Elizabeth, she took point person a couple years ago on the grant, and she has expressed possibly be willing to do that again. So I mean, if you're really thinking about the grant, if anybody else would like to help her and try, and she thinks that possibly there's some stuff that we may be eligible for.
Well, what I think we need to do is sit down with the county commissioners and see if there are areas that they have funding that we could join them in to benefit from, or at least look at their hotel, motel distribution and some other line item contributions that they make. Because, for example, the cemetery has never received any money from the county, but 100% of the burials that have happened in, I would say, in the last 10 years in the cemetery are residents of Morgan County, Norfolk County. So I think it would be reasonable to work with the county commissioners to say, how can you help us in this important responsibility toward our community? So that's one of the things I was thinking.
Okay. All right. If anybody would be willing to serve on the grant committee with Beth.
And you said this isn't technically a committee like
Right.
finance committee or public safety or whatever. So yeah, I will, as things progress, I will inform the board and then ask for help as I need it.
Okay.
As things become
Well,
possible.
if
I
anybody,
continue to look for money for the cemetery. I actually have a grant that I'm in the process of applying for right now to try to, again, get the General Barstow headstone reset. And I actually found a grant where I think they would be seriously willing to consider that. So I'm always looking for little ones that we can afford.
Right.
The biggest problem for the town is that we normally do not have a match with grants. The things that, quite frankly, we could live without would be nice to have, but we come for streets, rails, trails, and train people at this point. So
like I said, if you need any help, call on us.
thank
You know, I imagine there'll be some people, maybe Greg will step up and help you or whatever. So,
I think Sharon, or you're under a fair amount of pressure right now due to the money that's been offered to us from the
Correct, through
government.
the offer.
Over.
Mhm.
She's under a good
Yeah.
deal of pressure to get things applied for with that money. The 19th,
The
actually,
19th, everything has to be filed by the 19th.
that's where I would
Monday.
say we need to redefine our responsibilities under a grant committee, because we could be helping Sharon, we need to look at where we need help and look in those areas. And right now, the answer is not to go out there and try to find a bunch of grants to apply.
right.
We've got grants that we need to finish up now.
So said if Sharon needs any help, she can reach out and say, hey, to you or to somebody. So, like I said, I think she's somewhat got it under control now, but it was kind of a little bit of a tremor moment there for a little while. But I think she's got a handle after her and I talked earlier today about it. So, but so like I said, let's all work together. Somebody sees something grant wise that they think might come, most certainly bring it to forward to us. I mean, it's something, if we can make it happen, we can hand over and say, hey, can you look at this list or whatever.
Where's your problem with this? Because figuring out what to apply for, or do you know what to apply for and just getting the paper?
Right now, it's getting the first interim, the information into their system for the interim. They're going to give half the money up front, and then you can spend that and explain what you've spent it on. The second half of the funds, the way it stands right now, is going to be reimbursable. You'll have to submit expenses to be reimbursed. It was finding out where to file the documentation. It was led to believe it was going to be on the US Treasury, but for the municipalities, actually with the state, so it's going to be through OASIS.
So all the money's going to the state, so you have to.
For the municipalities, correct.
Right to us. So, but like I said, I think she's somewhat got a handle on it now. There, like I said, for a while it was a little scary situation because she was trying to jump through the hoops. But like I said,
Does the county have a grant administrator now?
Stephanie Alamon,
She's the general
Right.
I
administrator.
don't know if they have anybody now or not. Honestly,
If there's any guidance over there on.
well, theirs is going through the Treasury. That was the
That
issue.
is
They get-
different.
right.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
gotcha.
So I was
Different.
following the
She was-
guideline and everything that was
She was
coming
going
through
with
the
what the county
emails.
was,
Yeah.
and it actually wasn't. The municipality is completely different from what the county is. So
Okay.
they've got to make everything hard. They can't just do one thing
Yeah.
across the board. It's got to be 50,000 things.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's where we're at there. So public safety.
We don't have anything to report right now at this time. Our next meeting is going to be the 27th. We're just gonna make it on the same day
Okay.
as,
Okay, so we're gonna go to the 27th. Okay.
and I did attend the annual Travel Working Springs meeting that I'm part of for the chamber. And they're doing some new marketing, campaigns and also working on making the website more friendly for cell phone friendly. Okay.
Good deal. All right. Okay. Well, cemetery. Beth.
Nothing specific to report tonight.
Okay. All right. Public Works.
Nothing major report except that we went down and looked at sidewalk on Green Street extended and made the homeowners aware that the sidewalk is theirs. And all they have is just gigantic pavers, so it's not that they're gonna redo a whole sidewalk. It's just to write it up and then we'll take care of the very end part. So we're just waiting until they do their part, but it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
So it could be 2 more years.
Right. Now we'll see what happens and go from there. The ball's in their court. So, okay. All right. Ordinance.
Okay, we met this evening at 4:30 and I'll go down our agenda. We do have some work to get through today. One of the things that I brought before the council, I had permission to talk to Richard Gay about our historic